Welcome, history lovers, to a truly dark tale of absolute power and its epic downfall. Building a mighty empire requires generations of brilliant minds working closely together. But destroying that exact same empire, that demands a special kind of royal incompetence. Welcome to a brutal masterclass in disaster, starring King John of England himself. If you want to ruin a thriving superpower, just follow his treacherous, deadly steps. The Plantagenet dynasty was a sprawling, wealthy realm built by fierce medieval kings. They conquered distant lands, forged mighty alliances, and ruled with an iron fist across Europe. It took immense strategic brilliance and spilled blood to establish this superpower. But the year 1199 brought a dark shadow as King John claimed the Golden Throne. Unlike his brave ancestors, John was deeply paranoid, hiding cowardice behind pride. He immediately began his reign by alienating his most loyal nobles. His court was filled with whispers of dread as loyal advisors were pushed into the shadows. Historians often note that his unpredictable temper made every decree a gamble. Instead of leading with courage, he chose a path of manipulation and bitter betrayal.
See to it that the accident looks convincing.
The glorious kingdom began to fracture as the monarch destroyed the trust of his people. He replaced honorable knights with foreign mercenaries, ruling through fear, not respect. He trusted absolutely no one, and in return he earned the burning hatred of his nation. Every decision he made seemed perfectly calculated to destroy his father's legacy. The English lords watched in total disbelief as their mighty empire crumbled from the inside. He alienated allies, ignored wise counsel, and isolated himself in his castle. The kingdom needed a warrior, but it got a tyrant whose only talent was chaos. His incredible knack for making the worst possible choice became his defining feature. Step 1 of his disastrous masterclass involved betraying his legendary older brother. While Richard Lionheart fought the Holy Wars, John schemed to steal the crown with pure, dark malice. According to ancient chronicles, he allied with the French king to keep his brother locked away. This backstabbing move permanently stained his reputation, marking him a treacherous soul. When Richard finally returned, he surprisingly forgave John, but the bitter damage was done. John proved to the world that he would easily sell out his own flesh and blood for sheer power. His profound lack of loyalty set a terrifying tone for how he treated his kingdom. Step 2 in his guide to ruin, provoking a reckless dispute with the strongest man on earth. He arrogantly challenged Pope Innocent III over the next Archbishop of the realm. Refusing to accept the Pope's chosen leader, John seized church lands in a fit of bitter rage. Pope Innocent responded with brutal force, placing all of England under an interdict. For over 5 long years, church doors were tightly locked, and all sacred services were strictly banned. Church bells fell completely silent, and the dead were tragically denied proper burials. Imagine living in a devout age, suddenly cut off from heaven for your king's foolish pride. Would you stay loyal to a king who doomed your soul, or would you quietly pray for his downfall? The people were terrified, believing they would burn in hell. while King John casually ignored them. To make matters worse, the Pope eventually excommunicated John from the Holy Faith. Step 3. Mercilessly alienating the wealthy barons by draining gold for useless wars. He imposed the crushing scutage tax, forcing nobles to pay heavy fines instead of fighting battles. He squeezed every penny from his exhausted lords, using mercenaries to collect the wealth. Widows of nobles were forced to pay absurd fees just to avoid being sold to marriages. The royal treasury overflowed with stolen silver, but the anger of the lords was boiling over. But despite spending a massive fortune, his military campaigns in France were disasters. His armies were outmaneuvered and utterly crushed by the French forces at the Battle of Bouvines. He miserably lost the ancestral lands of Normandy, the most vital territory he held. Earning the humiliating nickname John Lackland, he returned to England a broken failure. To lose the glorious jewel of the empire was an unforgivable disgrace to the crown. His cowardly retreats on the battlefield convinced the barons that their king was unfit to lead. He stole their money, lost their precious lands, and destroyed the martial pride of the English nation. But the king's capacity for destruction did not stop there. He unleashed his darkest cruelty. He regularly imprisoned his rivals in freezing dungeons, leaving them to rot in darkness. The chronicles record horrifying tales of noble women being deliberately starved. His extreme cruelty was not a display of strength, but a pathetic symptom of paranoia. The most chilling rumor of his reign involved his young, fragile nephew, Prince Arthur of Brittany. Arthur was a rival claimant to the throne, making him a major threat to John's fragile ego. After capturing the young boy in battle, John locked him away in the shadows of Corfe Castle. Then, Arthur mysteriously vanished, and dark whispers spread like wildfire across the kingdom. Historians widely believe that a drunken King John murdered the helpless teen with his bare hands. Tying a heavy stone to the boy's lifeless body, he cast him into the freezing river waters. This monstrous act of kinslaying horrified the nobility, proving that no one was safe anymore. If a king can murder his own royal blood in cold blood, what would stop him from slaughtering your family? Every time he faced a political crisis, John instinctively chose the most cowardly path. His endless tyranny achieved something truly remarkable, though unintended by the mad king. He successfully united all the fiercely independent factions against a common enemy. English barons, who spent generations fighting each other, suddenly stood shoulder to shoulder. Northern rebels and southern lords forged a massive alliance to bring down the wicked, bitter tyrant. The clergy, deeply scarred by the interdict, quietly blessed the noble rebellion against the crown. A massive army, calling themselves the Army of God, marched directly toward the royal stronghold. The gates of the capital were thrown open by citizens, welcoming the heavily armed barons. King John suddenly found himself completely isolated, abandoned and trapped in his own castle. His mercenaries refused to fight a losing battle, leaving the king utterly defenseless. The ultimate, crowning achievement of his failure was about to unfold on a misty field. In June 1215, the rebel lords cornered the monarch at a meadow widely known as Runnymede. Surrounded by flashing steel and angry, battle-hardened men, John had no room left to negotiate. With broadswords literally pressed against his royal throat, the terrified king submitted to demands. He pressed his wax seal onto a radical document created by the brilliant Archbishop Langton. This magnificent piece of parchment would forever be known to history as the Magna Carta. For the first time in history, the Charter boldly declared that the king was not above the common law. It guaranteed the right to a fair trial, ending the era of arbitrary imprisonments. It firmly established that taxes could not be extorted without the consent of the kingdom. By acting like the absolute worst CEO of England, John birthed the foundation of human rights. His incompetence was so profound that it permanently stripped away absolute monarchical power. The barons did not intend to invent democracy, they just wanted to survive a mad ruler. Yet, from the muddy fields of Runnymede, a brilliant spark of liberty ignited the whole wide world. King John died a miserable, broken man shortly after, remembered as the architect of his ruin. His massive failure as a tyrant accidentally gave birth to modern Western democracy. Do you think his epic failure was pure arrogance, or just terrible timing? Tell us down below. If you enjoyed this dark historical journey, please like, share, and subscribe for more epic tales.